Hey guys, welcome back to another Take 5. This video is going to be about enumerators. If you've never heard of what an enumerator is before, then this video should help you out. An enumerator is essentially a way to categorize integers so that you don't have to use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to decide how you want to do things. So the easiest way to show you exactly how this works and what they are is first we're going to make one. So we're going to come down here, right click, and go down to blueprints and go to enumeration. And you're going to open that up, and that's going to look like this right here. And basically, over on the right-hand side, we can make a new value here, an entry, and we want to call this. Let's just say that we are trying to do something based on the color of a light. Let's say that a light, if it was red, we want to do some functionality specific, right? And then if it's blue, we want to do some other functionality that's specific. This might not be the best case scenario, but basically let's just give it this. So we got a red, we got a blue, and we have a let's say a white or a yellow. We can do that. So let's do red, and then we're going to go over to new, and we're going to add two more. We're going to do blue, and then we'll just do white. So now we have three entries here. Let's save that. Let's go back to our blueprint graph. And now the way that you use the enumerator is you go into variables. You have to make it a variable first of all. So we're going to set the variable type to enumerator of that type. So actually, sorry, let's go back here. I didn't name this, so it probably would be best to name this so I can find it easily. So let's just say this is called light colors, right? And we want to do something, light colors. And now when we're running our functionality, let's just, for this example, let's just imagine that we wanted to do something specific based on the light's color. Oops, I already made a variable. Get ahead of myself here. So let's go back up here. We're going to go light colors, and it's going to bring up our enumerator that we just made. And we don't want this to be a map. This was from the previous video, so let's just if you right click on these, it's going to go array or single. It's going to keep switching back and forth. This is really nice. So if you're in a map, you can just actually right click on it, it'll switch it, and then right click it again, it'll switch back to single. So now we have our single variable that is of that enumerator light colors, right? So now something you may have seen before when I did this with integers was that you could switch. You can do something called a switch, which I think I explained in one of the previous videos. And this is something that's just normal programming, right? You're going to be able to do something based on a value of 0 or a value of 1 or a value of 2. And you could do this 100 more times if you wanted to and have this thing switch between 100 different situations. And based on whatever situation, it's going to only do that particular thing. Well, this integer is kind of it's arbitrary, right? We don't know what 0 is, we don't know what 1 is, and we don't know what it means when we're programming something, especially if somebody else set this up and you open up this blueprint and some Joe over here put in this enumerator and uses integer, and you don't know what integer is because you have no idea because you didn't program it. And you just know that, integer is on integer 1. When integer is 1, it's going to do this specific thing, and when it's doing, but what is it? Why is it doing it, right? What is the reason? So an enumerator is so that we can basically create a way to organize it better and make it so that people can understand why we're doing it. So let's do light colors, right? So we've got our light colors. Now you can go switch on light colors. Oh, look. Now you've got red, blue, and white. So now we're switching on light colors, which makes a lot more sense than switching on integer, right? And a lot more sense than 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Because now you know, oh, well, when the light is red, we're going to do this. When the light is blue, we're going to do this. And when the light is white, we're going to do this, right? That is basically why we have enumerators. And that's the best example of what I could give you for a reason to use them in blueprints here. Um, you can also do things like with enumerators. You can also do things like equal to. You can check to see if the enumerator value of this variable right now is currently equal to blue, or you can set the enumerator. So if you alt click left and drag out, you can set it. You can set it to something specific. If you know, maybe after it was red, we want to turn it to blue, right? So switch on. The light was red. It did some functionality. Maybe it came through, got to the switch, and goes, okay, it's red. Let's switch it to blue now. This is an example of how you could do some different things with that, and it's kind of a you know I'm sure you guys are kind of understanding that. So um, I think that's pretty much it for enumerators. You can also use enumerators in maps. You can do a lot of different things. So enumerators are also another way to do something with a map where instead of using a string like I showed in one of the previous videos, you can use an enumerator, and you could call the enumerator. You could have all the enumerator values of attack speed and critical strike and all these things, and the enumerator is easier to deal with because first of all it's type safe. It can't be changed. It's either click a box and pick one of the options, right? So it's not just a string that you can go in here and modify by typing something and accidentally typing it wrong. You know, like, oh, I meant red, but I put R capital ED, right? On accident. So because it's an enumerator, it won't allow you to do that. You just pick the option that's available. You just have to make sure that when you make them at the beginning, that they're correct. So that's pretty much enumerators. Yeah. Thanks for watching.